So let's just go do another run. I'm sure this one will be better. So I need to save about 50 seconds, but I have 30 seconds just to save at the very end of my true ending run. And then obviously I can save a lot of time during the any percent portion as well. But as usual, I'm gonna go for any percent and then true ending afterwards if I get a good any percent time. It is nice that you can do that, and it's not quite optimal, but it doesn't completely kill your chances of getting world record in true ending. I wonder what a decent sum of best for true ending would be. I know 225 is definitely doable. Wouldn't even be that difficult. But I think a sub 225 might be possible. It's hard to say. I don't even know. For all I know, it could be easy. Like, no one's optimized true ending that much. To explain turtle skip for anyone that doesn't know what it is, basically when you are cone B, then if you take damage off the turtle's head like that, you just have a single frame where you can jump again in midair. So as long as you press jump on that specific frame, you can jump again and then attack, and that'll let you land on top of the tortilding and take it out, which is how you finish the level. The rest of World 1 is just going to be really tight fire movement. I also have to try to not get any dropped inputs or get any float inputs, which can happen really easily when you use fire. That's one of the reasons I prefer tornado over fire. Honestly, World 1 is not very easy to do well. It's kind of one of the harder worlds in the run, but it is pretty straightforward. It's just all fire movement. The only RNG in the run is with two bosses, and they're both 50-50 coin flips from what I can tell. I know for a fact that Gorimondo is either exactly 50% or extremely close. Like, I've done literally dozens of trials. And then I'm pretty sure Claraline is also a 50-50. And in both cases, you basically get either perfect RNG or the worst. Luckily, the worst isn't quite as much a time loss in Claraline's case. It's pretty close. But it's more like 5 to 8 seconds lost instead of 10. Gonna damage boost here, which will allow me to get really close to Florina without taking damage, which will make it much easier to freeze her. It's pretty difficult to freeze her before she starts spinning out of control and breaks through it. But it's really important to freeze her in phase 1, or you lose a lot of time. Archmouth sections, you lose time anytime you go up or down, but I'm going to go a little bit up just to get a few extra coins, because I need enough to buy attack buffs and speed buffs after 6-3 for any percent, but I also need enough to be able to buy even more for the true ending part of the run. So even with all the new boss strats, Tropic Woods is still one of the hardest bosses. I'm able to do them correctly most of the time, but things can still go wrong. I think I only got 1 star there, but it's fine as long as I hit with this double star, but no! I'm standing right in his face and I shoot him point blank, but the fence's hitbox is so bad that it just bounces off. So now I have like an extra double star worth of damage to make up for. That's not run totally dead, but let's see how much time I lose just to that. Nice 10-second loss. It does suck that we have to deal with Claraline RNG about halfway into the run, but on the bright side, it's usually not that bad. But nice, I got one of the robot cars to despawn. I don't know how that happens, but it's nice when it does because you can take a much straighter line. Let's see if I can gold this split by a bit with the new tornado strat that I came up with. Okay, I was a little afraid to jump off of that place I first landed, but I wonder if that would have actually been high up enough that I could have made it past the two aliens that you need to skip. So using tornado here, you can just kind of skip that first elevator completely and it saves a second or two. Alright, these cycles are really hard to make. So I already beat the train, that's good. But with this rocket here, it'll be hard to make this cycle, but I did. Easily beat that robot, which is good. Okay, so here I actually need to inhale hammer really quickly. The arena's fastest with no power, but I also want to inhale hammer, and then I'll just drop it because you can only mix for abilities that you've previously acquired. So I'm going to want to mix for hammer in a couple levels, and I won't be able to do that if I haven't swallowed at least one hammer. Now let's see how the clip goes. Yes, okay, good. For some reason, if you inhale that really close to the ceiling slash floor there, you can just clip right through. I would like to exit World 4 around a 58.20. If I do that, then all I need is an average World 6 at best in order to get 138. So far this is definitely good pace, but it could certainly be better, especially with Tropic Woods and Clawline going as they did. So here's where I'm going to do the mix that I mentioned earlier. If I combine these two enemies, I can get hammer, which I'll actually need to do a glitch here. If you float until you're exhausted, you can do what's called a hammer super jump by pressing the frame that your hammer hits the ground, or more like the frame after. And then as you saw, you can just kind of, for some reason, inhale abilities at any height in this game. So I brought Tornado up to me, and that's how I managed to keep Tornado even when I was way up in the air. Doing DDD well while keeping Tornado is arguably more difficult than Tropic Woods. You could just use Fire, but using Tornado is overall faster in World 5. But because Tornado is so weak against bosses, that's why I've always been dropping it to just use the stars that they drop instead. But I'll have to re-grab it so it doesn't fade away. After about 12 seconds, the powers that you drop fade away. So I just need to juggle it once, and then I try to get a quad star here. I barely missed, I got a triple, but luckily I got a quad there. That's important. I need to do enough extra damage to DDD to knock him so far into phase 2 that I can take him out with 2 hammer swings. If I just did the normal amount of damage to get him into phase 2, he would take much more than 2 hammer swings, and this phase would take way too long. Luckily I did get the quad. Even though it wasn't on his first jump, that's still pretty good. So I didn't quite get the 57.20 World 4 exit that I wanted, but 57.30 is not bad. This is definitely 138 pace. Then DDD is going to steal Elflin or something. We don't really care, we're speedrunners. We're just gonna move on to the next world. I do find World 5 a little bit easier with Tornado than Fire as well. So if I do manage to get the harder DDD strat, then I'm rewarded with a slightly easier World 5, which is nice. It's technically slightly faster to skip this Waddle Dee for another one in 5-4, but that one's really risky to get and it only saves a second or two, so I'm going to get this one instead. Right now I just want to save as much time as I can in World 5 to give myself as much leeway as possible in World 6. Normally you would need Drill to go under the fence and hit this switch, but if you have Tornado or Fire you can just go from that platform all the way over and skip using Drill at all. So this is going to be a true ending run also. What I do is I primarily start the run off as an any percent run, and then if I get a good time there, then I continue on into true ending, which is not optimal for true ending, But if I'm so far ahead and on such a good run, then I might as well try for a true ending PB as well. 5-3 is straightforward, although it is a little bit difficult to squeeze through all these doorways as Tornado. If you can control Tornado well though, it is possible to completely stop your horizontal momentum and go at a total right angle. One interesting thing about the Archmouth sections is that if you bounce off the ground and then spin immediately after, you get a small amount of speed boost, which is pretty interesting. Silly Dillo is about the only easy boss in the run, so hopefully this goes fine. Other bosses can be easy, like Gorimondo if you use ice, but if you're using the optimal strats, Silly Dillo is the only one that's definitely pretty easy. Even he's not free, but it's not bad. Nice. Pretty good Silly Dillo fight. So World 5 hasn't gone the best, but it's been pretty good. I'm definitely on 138 pace, but I'm going to need a pretty good World 6. I don't need like a god World 6 or anything though. Burn any percent world record is 139.17, I believe. So being on 138 pace is pretty good. Even the levels without any specifically difficult tricks are just difficult in general. 6-3 is about the only easy level in this world in my opinion. Oh, I just missed the edge. That's why this level's really annoying. If you miss your angle by just a couple of degrees, or you're a couple inches too short, you fall in the lava, all the cycles get messed up, and you can lose 5 seconds from the smallest mistake, depending on where you make that mistake. Here we're going to use Crash to instantly kill Frosty, which will also give us a Waddle Dee. But we want to keep Fire, because it's much faster than just slide hopping as normal Kirby. So I'm going to jump off the edge, do the trick before where you can inhale it from any height, and then I'll just grab it and get the second Beast Meal, which will be another Waddle Dee. I almost got stuck in a little crevice there. Luckily, my Fire Dash was barely able to break out. You don't even bonk if you use Fire there, you just have to wait out the entire Fire Dash. And my fire spacing's kind of weird here. I really don't want to fall into the lava, so I'm going to just take it a little slowly. Now we're actually going to do something interesting where instead of going to the next level, we go back to town, and we do this in order to buy a bunch of speed and attack buffs that will make the rest of the game much faster and will more than make up for the time it takes to buy them. I'm going to buy 2 speed boosts, 2 attack boosts, and I will hold one of the attack boosts to use on the final boss gauntlet. So this is still pretty solid 138 pace here. Nothing should go too wrong in 6-4, but it's possible I'll lose 4 or 5 seconds to Silly Drillo. So here's Silly Drillo. Turns out Drill does a heck ton of damage, and I found that recently. So if we make the right shape, Silly Drillo will just take 3 large hits right in a row, and you can literally one-shot him with an attack buff. Do need to do Clara Line without taking damage, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. With our attack increased, we can just 2-shot her. Okay, 6-5 is by far the hardest and worst level in the entire run. Nothing else is even close to the same league. You gotta do 3 hammer super jumps, and the last 2 are relatively difficult. If I get them all first try, I can save 20 plus seconds on this level. Luckily, the first super jump isn't too difficult. You can just take this scissor lift and go up onto the platform up here. And if you do it this way, you've got 4 or 5 frames to press the A button, so it's very lenient. Some people try to jump from the bottom without taking the scissor lift, but that's just as slow, if not slower, than doing it this way. And you need a frame perfect jump instead of 4 or 5 frames, and the enemies are in the way, and the camera's really far away, so you're making it much harder on yourself and not saving any time. And now this is a bit more difficult. This is only a 2-frame jump, and I pressed A too early. That's going to be a few seconds lost, but this is still doable. Nice. I almost got hit by the ice there, but luckily I didn't. Can I get the second bounce? No, that one's even harder because the timing is different than every other super jump in the game, and it's still 2 frames. But I'll just have to retry it, then I have normal timing, so it's a lot easier. That's going to be very unfortunate. I'll be able to tell how much time I lose over optimal strats, or an optimal performance, based on how much time I have left on the speed buff. Alright, lost 10 up to 13 seconds from that. This should still just barely be on 138 pace if I have good final bosses. If I can one-shot DDD, then this entire run will just come down to Leongar skip. As long as this doesn't go terribly, this should be a world record, so let me just illustrate that for everyone to see. I'll let everyone know that this is obviously going to be the world record. You know, nothing could possibly stop it at this point, right? What could possibly go wrong? So we're hoping for a one-shot. This is very inconsistent. Okay, that sucks, but it's fine as long as I can just back it up right here. But no! Somehow his Pillar of Fire hits me while I'm underneath the earth and does damage to me. So now I have to wait for him to jump all the way across, and somehow that didn't even kill either. This fight literally could not have been worse. When I needed it to go the best, it literally could not have gone worse. Phase 2 is really consistent, so that shouldn't be a problem. I literally lost around 12 or 13 seconds to that Phase 1, so this can no longer be a 138, but it is still on world record pace. If I get Leongar skip first try, this should be world record, and if I don't, the run's probably dead, so fingers crossed. This is another 2-frame bounce. This is also hard because Leongar lags the room. That looks good. 2nd frame. Nice, I got just enough height. And I'm over the wall. Let's go. So this should be world record. There's not much that can go wrong as long as I don't miss like Elphalus healing phase skip. Excuse me, game? Why did you just hit me while I had iframes? I was mid-swing, and for some reason Fecto Forgo hurt me when he wasn't even attacking towards me. That doesn't make any sense. This is going to be extremely close now. Remember, world record is a 1:39:17. As long as I do this fight correctly and skip Elphalus's healing phase, this is world record. All that's left is healing phase skip, which I'm very consistent at, and an auto scroller, so we should be fine. Just gotta make sure to freeze him as quickly as possible here. Easy, didn't even get a chance to try and fly away. I think I'm about 2 seconds ahead of world record pace, and this is an auto scroller, so we should be fine. Wait, what happened? Why did I die? I just got snipered. There's literally no way I should have died there. I was just on the solid ground, and then I voided out. The game just randomly murdered me. Is that going to cost me the world record? That death cost about 4 seconds. So if I'm less than 4 seconds behind world record, it's because of that. $1:39:17, that's the time to beat. It's going to be extremely close. Are you kidding me? That's any percent done. 1 or 2 seconds off world record. I would have gotten it if I didn't randomly die there. This is a true ending run, so I'm going to continue it on. But what the heck, game? Even after getting hit during Fecto Forgo for no reason, I still was on world record pace. Unfortunately, when you do just an any percent run first and then do true ending, you have to enter in an extra code in order to have enough money. Most of the time spent in town is just getting enough money, rare stones, and the blueprint to get Masked Hammer here. This will be our main ability of choice in Forgo Dreams. It does way more damage than any other ability we have at our disposal. And I think Forgo Plains is actually the hardest level in the post-game. Maybe the last level is harder, but honestly I think this is the hardest one. It even has one of the 2 hammer super jumps in Forgo Dreams. Now it's time for Needle Gaming. With a speed boost, Needle is actually the fastest ability we have access to, so I'm going to be using it a lot in the first couple of levels for movement. I'll always want to switch back to Masked Hammer for the bosses if I can, but for the movement in the levels, I want to use Needle as much as possible. It's also very versatile. You can move in any direction you want, and you can cancel it at any time you want as well. Let's see if I can thread the needle here. Nice. Ah, no. That jump is really difficult to make, especially with the Scarfies there. But like I said, we want Masked Hammer for the bosses, and conveniently enough, you get Hammer right here. These Phantom bosses have much more health than their normal counterparts, but even so, Masked Hammer just shreds right through them. Okay, that Forgo Plains wasn't terrible, but it could have been like 10 seconds faster. My goal for Forgo Dreams is always to keep the speed boost into the first part of Forgo Wasteland. Okay, why did that not do enough damage? It did it again! You can just hear it be like a dud. It goes dunk. Luckily for us, we get Needle right at the start of this one. So that's really convenient. Getting hit there was honestly kind of convenient. It means I don't have to drop Needle myself. That last part's actually really scary because if you get hit, you have no way to re-grab your ability because the wind just pushes you away from it. Oh, why did that hit me? That was close. I don't know why those Ghost Gordos hit you so hard, but it can be pretty difficult to not fall off the edge there. Why do I always float instead of sliding there? I don't get it. I got another weak hit. What is going on here, game? This has happened before, but it almost never does, and I don't know why. Now right here, if you draw a really small circle, it can just kind of clip inside the cage and get the soul. Come on. Come on. There we go. Jeez, at that point it would have been faster to just go around and make a big circle instead. We used to use Needle in the next room, but we found out that it was faster just to keep Hammer. So it used to be that we needed to mix for Hammer in this room, since we thought we needed Needle to get some of the souls in the previous one, but we found a way to get every single soul that we wanted. So now Hammer mix is no longer a thing and we just already have it, which is important because, come on, grab the soul. Because we need Hammer to jump over this mini boss fight, which saves about 50 seconds because you have to fight all 4 mini bosses in the game. Okay, how did I not get a bullet time dodge there? I call shenanigans. Not that bad though, at least I didn't get hit or anything. But I'm supposed to be saving time, not losing it. No speed buff left here. You don't need much, but it's nice to have some to get you to the Florina fight. Well, that's just great. Oh, come on, how did I not make that jump? This is the opposite of what I need right now. The tornado and fire aren't even that useful when you have a speed boost, but now that it's run out, tornado is the best movement option we have. Still don't know whether it's faster to float up here or just go around. Floating up is more direct, but it feels a little more awkward as well. I definitely like the idea of rolling off of this and then floating up though. That's definitely something that feels fast. Billy Dillo is the only fight that's basically the same, both in the regular game and in Forgo Dreams. There's very little difference. Okay, sure. Somehow I got stuck inside the dance partner. Oh, I did so little damage during that phase. He should be dead by now. Okay, this is looking pretty bad. I need to really clutch out the last couple splits if I'm gonna get world record here. I do have 30 seconds to save here, so it's not impossible. Next stream is where things started to go really wrong in my PB. So hopefully I do it well. This level's gone overall pretty well, but lots of small time losses. I think DDD and the rest of the bosses are really going to decide the fate of this run. It is possible to super jump up to this ladder, but it doesn't really save any time. Not worth it right at the end of a 2.5 hour speed run, in my opinion. Honestly, this run has been so bad, I'm not even that concerned with whether I get world record or not. Ooh, nice, I got the 2 strong hits there. I've only been able to do that a couple times ever. But that means I can take him out before he even stops spinning, which is pretty cool. Now if the camera could just work, thank you. Perfect DDD fight, that's pretty good. That could possibly make the difference. Okay, that was really good. Hopefully I have time to save on the final bosses. I think I probably do. Let's just see what happens. If they go perfectly, I think I can still get world record. That Forgo zone was pretty clutch, especially the DDD fight. Alright, these bosses are straightforward. All I have to hope is that nothing stupid happens. That's really all I can hope for. Unfortunately, stupid things happen all the time on these bosses. Alright, good damage there. Sometimes it does almost no damage, and I'm not sure why. Nice. Skip the phase transition. If you don't take him out before he finishes that attack, he gets a cutscene where he transitions into the next phase, and it takes a lot of time. Good. Yes, all 3 bosses absolutely perfect. Boom. World record by like 4 seconds. Let's go. Dying right at the end of the any percent run almost cost me 2 world records, but I was just barely able to get this one. Imagine if I was like 6 seconds slower and it cost me both world records. I don't know how much I'll focus on getting a specifically good true ending run, but I'm definitely going to keep going for any percent because I want 138 there.